All right. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming through, Curvies. Thanks for coming through. We're going to do this real quick. I wasn't on time for the last one, but I'm on time for this one. I'm on time for this one. Thanks for being here. We're just going to do this real quick. I wanted to talk about a couple things. You know why? Because why not? Trader's not on yet in my region. Waiting to see if Danielle is off. Can somebody on the East Coast please tell me? I don't mind a spoiler alert. Can somebody tell me, should I start checking the socials? Because it already happened. Whatever happened, it already happened on the East Coast. Can somebody tell me, did Danielle get traded off? Let's see. Traders. Let's see. An hour ago. I knew it. I knew it. Oh my God, that bitch. Wow, you guys. Whatever happened, it already happened. Okay. So I don't know. It doesn't really look like anybody's coming back into play, but I just wanted to say that I wasn't going to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, but Shamea, that intro, that first 6 minutes is the next season, made me be like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been missing from the Housewives. This is what I've been missing from my reality is some reality, right? Like, freaking, can we give it up to Shamea Morton as the main peach? Now, you know, Porsha Williams and her fell out, and it seems like they fell out anyway. And since the time that they were filming, and there's even in one of the trailers them having a sit down that seems very tense. And Portia's been doing these news rounds, right? And one of the news rounds, she says that she put Shamea's name up to be the center peach. And I'm like, really, Porsha? So why you seem so mad about it? I don't know, but we'll see. But Shamea has 2 elevators. Shamea doesn't have numbers for her house because her house is the only house on the street. You just have to go to the freaking estate on the street. And yes, and there you are. And I'm here for it. We've been sleeping on Shamea fucking Morton. Like, how was that even? Well, I literally thought Shamea was like just literally like a sidekick grunge girl, kind of grunges in her level in society. Like, I didn't know she was socialiting, hosting, doing all the fabulous things. has such a freaking beautiful hashtag Black Love Marriage, and they have a beautiful hashtag Black Family, and I'm here for all of it. So they fell out. But also in the interview that Porsha did specifically with the Breakfast Club with the seat sniffer Charlemagne, not the God, they were talking about different things. And she was talking about how Nene said that when she was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the seat sniffer, not the God, um, that Porsha had done something that she was like, I don't want to film with Nene. And Nene is not a liar, you guys. That's one thing Nene isn't. I don't know what people can tell you about Nene Leakes, but I haven't known that she's been caught in an abundance of lies. I don't know if you could put it in the chat or the comments in the replay if you personally feel like Nene Leakes is a freaking liar face, been caught in bold-faced lies as like a pattern, you know. I'm not seeing it. And so when Nene said what they told her was the reason they needed to bring in Cynthia as an alternate on her episodes of the Upshaws, like those people didn't have a huge reason to lie to Nene. And Nene certainly didn't need to lie to kick it about Porsha. So what would it have gained Nene to say anything other than her truth in that moment? So anyway, on Porsha's press run, when she's over at Charlemagne the Seat Sniffer's Breakfast Club interview earlier this week or today, she was saying that basically Nene got it all wrong and leave it to Nene to like sensationalize it, and it was nothing about her, and it had nothing to do with her, and she turned it into her. And I'm like, really, bitch? Like, because that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, Nene has not been a liar face. And I'm not sure, like, the exact lie that I can name from Porsha, but I just kind of feel like Porsha has her way with the truth, right? And she was doing, if you listen to the interview, when it comes to this particular section of the interview, she's saying, she's like, abada, abada, abada in her response. Let me see if I can find it. While I'm sitting up here going, abada, abada, abada. I'm so funny. I decided to have a glass of Merlot. I haven't had wine in my house for over a year. And for some reason, I decided to have a freaking glass of Merlot. That's what I call it after I've had a glass. So I just finished it. So it just became Merlot. Merlot is what you drink. Merlot is what you drank. Okay. So I had some Merlot. Milo, I'm not talking to you. I didn't say Milo. I said Merlot. Yeah, Quad is given in this dress. It is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. She just posted some more pictures. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that draping is everything. That is just so freaking elegant like water. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for the Bravo Shade Room because I believe they have a clip of. Do they have a clip? Yeah, here they are. They have some clips over there. Now, the Breakfast Club be acting funny style. So I'm just going to play the audio with this picture right here. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. I don't own this shit. I'm using it for copyright research, commenting, and entertainment purposes, education, all that stuff. And everything I say, by the way, is for entertainment and allegedly. Okay. So she waited until now to respond about what. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I just feel like she's trying to drive a narrative, Flora, because we want to know, did you call deport people? Did you call ICE on Simon? Why are you in that man's house when you got a house? Why are you giving him such a hard time? What are you doing, Porsha? And instead of us talking about that, she's talking about Nene. She's talking about a lot of other stuff. So let's listen to her. Oh, first, we were just talking about Shamea and Kelly have been doing a press run also. So let's listen to that first, and then we'll go into Porsha real quick.
Oh. There was it. I was talking to my niece the other. Who's your least favorite? Yeah.
They asked her who's her least favorite.
There was they were being honest. Being honest and authentic here. You said my least favorite? Yes.
From this season.
From this season, that's a long pause. You know we don't got but 2 minutes. I think my least favorite. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth or shame the devil. What we doing? I think my least favorite is probably going to be Britt Edie.
Why?
Oh.
Why?
I think you just need to watch the show.
Yeah. Too well so far.
Yeah.
Shamea.
I'm gonna just have to, go with the same thing. Because if it ain't broke, don't why try to fix it? I mean, what she said what she said. So I'm gonna back her up on that. I'm gonna say the same thing. Britt Edie, I would definitely have to say is probably my least favorite at this moment. It wasn't always that way, but as the season progresses, you'll probably see why. Yeah. Sheesh. So
everybody want to know what's going on with you and your bestie. Are y'all still besties?
Oh yeah, I always have love for Porsha. That's my childhood friend. I only want the best for her, and I know that she wants the best for me. So we want to have a great season. We want to have a great show. So yeah, the love is always there, and it's always going to be there.
Did the show change any of it?
I think it's just about navigating that new space, whereas before I was just there to support her, and now me being in my own light and doing my own thing, it is different, and I'm sure on both sides, like just navigating that, like, because in a friendship, it's like, can I talk about this? Can we not? What you cool with? Can I say this? Can I not say this? Yeah, like I know her, and she knows me, so. It's just about just establishing the boundaries and the respect to keep the friendship fresh and authentic.
Okay, so that was what Shamea Morton and Kelly had to say. I don't know Kelly's last name, but they did an interview with that 103 people, and that was today or yesterday. And they were saying that Britt Edie, the one who got assaulted with Kenya's freaking revenge pee, is their least favorite. Yes. Okay. So now we're gonna listen to
a doctor's
Porsha.
Or call you a mean girl. Why she about you, Cap?
Now we're gonna listen to Porsha. Let me see. Which one should we listen to? Drew wearing Go Naked Hair. Drew's looking good. The semi-glutide is excellent over there. Okay, so here's what she said about the Nene things particularly.
What happened on when y'all shot the Upshaws? Because we had Nene up here.
Yeah.
And she said you blocked her from being on the Upshaws.
No, she did it. She did the show.
But you wouldn't do it with her.
So no, it's not that I wouldn't do it with her. So I signed on to do the Upshaws, and I had just filed, I think, could have even been a week and a half prior. So you know how you sign up. So mind y'all, when I filed for divorce, I did not know I was filing for divorce. I was happily in love with my husband. Like, we were good. Valentine's Day, we had a horrible argument. Things got really nasty, and I knew something was about to hit the fan. But I did not know. So when it happened, I had already signed up to do the show, and I really couldn't cancel at that point. So when I got there, I just was sitting in the green room or the waiting area, and I just start breaking down.
Oh man!
I just start breaking down, and then then she was in the room next to me, and just hearing her voice broke me down because I just felt when you're going through divorce, you just feel so alone. And here I am, just a foul, coming out of my room. I mean, I could barely put on makeup, and now here I am on a set with strangers. I don't have anybody. Just hearing her voice, it was just too familiar. And, I had not talked to her. I didn't know how I could face her. I didn't know how I could face anybody. So it genuinely wasn't me saying, no, I don't work with this person or that person, whomever, because I agreed to it. I just wasn't capable of doing it that day.
Mentally and emotionally.
I could not gather myself at all. So when I spoke to them, they were like, I understand you're not going to be able to act as a housewife today. They ended up letting me go home. And then they said, we'll fill in your spot with Cynthia. And then after that, in true Nene fashion, she just turned it into something about herself. And it genuinely wasn't about her. It was about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, her actions of like taking Simon's side and hanging out with him, with women or whatever they were doing, it just really was null and void to me. I just would have wanted a friend. So it, for her to turn it and make it like I tried to block her money or whatever, me block Nene's money, how? Like, Nene's a star. I can't block your money, just like nobody can block mine. I don't give a damn who you are. So it, to me, it's just unfortunate. I'm too grown. I'm sure y'all can see I'm a different Porsha. If I was another Porsha, I'd be reading her and her wig or whatever, but I don't feel that way. Like, I feel like we grown people. Girl, you know how it is to go through a divorce. You know exactly what emotions I could have been feeling. So all the extraness is just not.
I feel like I call bullshit because she's all, oh, I didn't have anybody. And then she said, oh, she was just too familiar. Lies, contradicting lies. There's 333 days in a freaking year, and the Underground Railroad is a monotrail on stilts. Okay? Yeah. A monorail, rather, on stilts. Like, please, come on. Come on, Porsha. Come on. It's the lies for me. She was like, and then the pre-story. It's like, oh no, like if it wasn't a lie, she could have just said, oh no, it was just that I have filed for divorce and I wasn't really ready. I had broke down. But she like did this whole big gigantic, and if you could have seen her freaking hand movements and just like she was spinning a fabulous web, what a wonderful web of deceit she was spinning, you know? So you're saying that Candy is the one who wanted Shamea to shine. The other one is her frenemy. It's coming off like that. It's coming off like that. Let's see.
I think it just went too far. I feel like Kenya came back this season and she definitely, well, not even this season, because I don't know what she was doing past 3 because I didn't see it. Right. But the Kenya that I saw this season was not wanting beef and drama too much. She really wasn't on too much of that. Like, you can even see that in the first episode. She really kind of chilled with it. Not her normal self. And I just feel like mixed with the newbie and some things that were said that were dangerous from the newbie, I felt like Kenya then decided to be even more dangerous. And but I do feel like there's a space where there could be a conversation with her and Bravo. I feel like there could be a conversation with her and Britt, and hopefully they can figure something out by next season.
Kenya. So I know she's not going to finish out the season because of what happened with her and Brittany, but they were saying that she could come back potentially season 17.
Hey, Barb.
Who said that?
I thought that she was only suspended for the rest of 16. I thought she was only suspended for season 16 and could potentially come back for 17, though.
I would hope that's true. I just can't see I'm in 100% agreement with her not being here. I would love her to be at the reunion. I'm for what's best for the show. And I loved where Kenya was going. She's not that happy with me right now, but that's okay. I've always been that type. I don't give a damn how you feel about me. If I'm always going to speak the truth. So, I feel like at this moment, no matter what, I feel like it would be good for Kenya to be at the reunion. And I feel like she is very articulate and can speak to Britt, and she can speak to the cast, and she can speak to the fans, and she can find her way back next season. So I think that could be a true statement.
I should not agree with you right now. I thought y'all were doing better this season.
She didn't like when I said that, when I compared her to Britt, and I said they were similar. And I said they were similar, but I meant because they're both fabulous. They're both, to me, speak their mind. Like, when you don't like somebody, you don't want to be compared to them. So
right. Got you.
But whatever, girl. I got to talk about you. You a part of the show. Don't you want to be talked about?
It's kind of crazy, though. I didn't even think about the reunion. Like, the fact that she won't even be on the reunion.
Who said that? It's possible. I'm still hopeful. She's still a big part of the show. She's not the show. She didn't make or break the season. But Kenya is a person who I've been doing this with for a very long time. And for once, we were possibly about to have a season of not being foes. You know what I'm saying? Phaedra, I have to say, when Phaedra came in, she helped to elevate the show as well and keep us where we needed to be because everybody been wanting to see her. She's been gone the whole time Kenya been gone.
Yeah.
So, it's people wanted her back.
And Candy has been really upset about how Kenya has been treated by the network. She's been very vocal about that. And then Phaedra coming back, I don't know if Candy's too excited about that as well, too. But do you feel like the network protects you guys the way that they should? Because that's what Candy's saying. It's like the network didn't protect one of their stars. Which is
I still work for the network, so I don't share certain sentiments, okay? Let's be clear, all right? I'm saying that I think Kenya deserves an opportunity, and an opportunity can be given to anyone. You can always say no. She can say whatever she wants to say to Britt, the cast, the crew, and whoever, and they can say no, but I believe she deserves that opportunity. I ain't say a damn thing about the network. Love the network.
So that was Porsha talking about Kenya and her position this season. She was saying that she wants Kenya to be able to find her way back, but is not sure whether or not that's a possibility. and whatever the network wants, basically, ooh, she's willing to go with. So that was interesting position. It seems like she was also continuing the narrative that there was something said or done by Britt Eady that Kenya and maybe other people saw as threatening, where the reason for Kenya's retaliation was so dark. But I still don't think, if you think the lady really was like saying some bullshit that was threatening, call the popo like they do, go to HR, do something. But it doesn't seem like, how are you going to be safer by showing her sucking a penis? Like, how is that going to make you safer? If you are afraid of this lady, of something she said, then how is you showing her engaged in oral copulation, fellatio, a BJ, whatever you want to call it? How is that going to make you safer by putting that on a poster board and embarrassing her publicly? It just doesn't track. It does not track. Okay? It does not, Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay? It's just lies. Anyway, there's another one.
Drew, you know what, Drew? Some people you just realize, okay, you just a little.
Is she still an ambassador of Go Naked Hair?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Go Naked Hair is Porsha's hair brand.
I can't put my hair on people's head and then they think they're me. Like, that's what I can't do. Like, that's what we not gonna do. You don't become Porsha by wearing Porsha's hair. You need to just enjoy my hair, take it out when it's dirty, and put it in back in when it's clean. You know, like, you can't just like all that. She's an okay person, I think, for a lot of her friends. I think they love her. I think they trust her. I think if you're not her friend, you shouldn't trust her and you shouldn't be around her.
Okay, so with you saying you shouldn't trust her, you shouldn't be around her, and she is not wearing Go Naked Hair anymore, you were not at all, and I saw it kind of in the first episode, you're not happy about the allegations that she might be in a relationship or whatever with Dennis, your ex.
See, this is why I like Breakfast Club. You ask the questions that need to be answered, okay? So here's the thing. On the show, I don't know how it's going to come off again because the show has to sensationalize things, right? So how good is it for me to be going through a divorce and I'm still jealous about my baby daddy? That's BS, right? So in real life, she actually was trying to film with him behind my back. And when you
He's a music producer, right? That's what he said on the show. He's a music producer, right?
He's like that. He's whatever he said he is. Okay, yes, he is. He is a serial entrepreneur and apparently a music
producer, right? Okay.
But she was trying to film with him behind my back, and that's just not cool. Come on,
we Housewives. On the show
film with him on Housewives, so it's just not cool, right? It felt like a setup for me in some way. And then also there was a Go Naked photo shoot. She was trying to set up without me knowing anything about. I have to prove everything. Some of them fits, it's not fitting for you,
right?
So, or some of them looks may not be given the look. So I would like to, as the owner of the company, be a part of any of that. So when those two things were happening behind my back, on my business, with my business, on my show, yeah, I have a problem with you.
So you didn't know Drew was recording with Dennis. You didn't know anything. You didn't know that they were speaking. You didn't know that they were talking until that first episode.
Holding hands in the club.
That's what they said on the episode?
I didn't know any of that.
So you found out right there in that episode.
What's so funny, I saw the episode and she was like, she asked him and I said yes. And she talked to me and I said yes. And I'm like, that's just not true. Like, I genuinely didn't know. Look, at the end of the day, like I told Shamea, if Drew and Dennis want to get together, I just hope she can do baby hair for Pilar. Like, I'm happy with Drew. I think she's a great parent. I think if him and her, that's good too. Just don't screw me where you asked me to come back to be. She had been asking me to come back to Housewives. And when I came back, this is what you had waiting on me. This wax storyline that y'all came up with.
Oh. Yeah. How tight are you and Drew?
Oh, so she's saying that allegedly Drew asked her to come back. And then when she got back, she found out that Drew and the hot dog man had been making music together and had been, like, I guess, talking to each other and filming. And Porsha is saying that it's behind her back. But I'm wondering if maybe Drew caught wind that the reason Porsha couldn't even film the Upshaws was because she had just filed for divorce and perhaps didn't want to bother her pretty little head with a further decision about something, since she was even unable to hold it together to film for the Upshaws. So it's just another contradiction in her web of lies. Yeah. So those were those. Oh wait, and that was the Drew one. Yeah. So there was another one about, does she see how her and Shamea's relationship oh, she responded to what Dr. Simone said about her being a mean girl, which I agree with. So recently, Dr. Simone had said that um, she was asked on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen whether or not, what about Phaedra's exit? And she's like, it's really interesting that Phaedra left calling us some mean girls, which we are not, and she's on her way to Mean Girl Central. I mean, like Portia's where she is, and I think that's a valid comparison. Portia's been in several altercations, physical altercations, and cuss out sessions, and has been, you know, mean with girls to the point where, you know, it's not like it's a different type of nasty on Housewives than it is on Married to Medicine, which is why when Phaedra came with the type of nastiness that Housewife has to offer, it kind of blew up the spot. Like there wasn't a place for it on Married to Medicine. So anyway, when Dr. Simone was asked about it, she's like, yeah, she's going over there with Porsha. Like, this is literally the lady who dragged Kenya Moore. Like, that was pretty mean. Like, what we did is very mild compared to where she's going. I totally get it. But instead, here's what Simone says.
Who's your least favorite?
What did you think of Jackie and Phaedra's conversation? I think Phaedra gave us an unnecessary and unfit hard time. I think she was ready to be back with Porsha, ready to be back as frickin' frack. And so just say that, but don't leave out calling us mean girls when you're headed to the number one mean girl. Are you calling Porsha the number one mean girl? She's mean. She's tried to fight on social media. She snatched Kenya down. You were there. Okay. What did you think of? I saw Dr. Simone.
Here is the response from Porsha today to what we just heard Dr. Simone say on Watch What Happens Live.
Whitmore call you a mean girl. Why she say that about you, capital P? You so nice. I don't know. I couldn't really understand what she was saying. I think Simone is reaching at straws. I don't know. I think Simone is full of it, just like that piece of doo-doo she had on her head. Like to me, she on her show, sometimes when you're on reality TV, right, she's an OBGYN. Mm-hmm. She started on the show and, she was a regular person and now on the camera. Sometimes when you start lacking in story, you start lacking as a person individually, you start just reaching and coming at bitches who are on point. Mm. So she
Oh my God, I had pressed the mute button. Oh my God. I had pressed the mute button. Oh my God. Oh, when I was making it big and small. Anyway, so I was saying that well, damn, I don't even know what you guys heard. I'm sorry about that. I was finished up with the housewife stuff, and now I was going over to Jax and his forehead vein that I believe is from his cocaine use, and it has been for years. He's been on the show since 2014, you guys, on Bravo shows. And he's Jax Taylor, gets more ass than a toilet seat. He's always displayed what could have been roid rage. Come to find out, it's a form of cocaine rage, probably most likely. I'm not a doctor. Everything I say is allegedly for entertainment purposes. However, he's on Bravo, right? And he's been going through it openly on Bravo, and he's been in and out of rehab. Him and his wife have problem. His wife drinks a lot. They know it. He's gotten in arguments with his wife who drinks a lot. They drive places. They have a bar. They've never been caught with a DUI, but they drink often and then they're on their way home. I don't know that they have drivers. It doesn't look like it often. But then we have Erika Jane, the lady who's up in the corner. And she's from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And her story is that her husband, Tom Girardi, the infamous Tom Girardi, who was like the famous lawyer for the Aaron Brockovich story. He was also the lawyer for the jet that went down in Malaysia, I believe. And he was also the lawyer for some burn victims somewhere. Anyway, he was, can you guys hear me now? Hello? Hello? Yeah. So he actually was featured on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as Erika's husband. And they talked about it often, how she couldn't have had her career as Erika Jane had it not been for his funding and his support, right? And there was many times on the show where she said, "Oh, I know everything there is to know about, my husband's job. I used to work there," kind of thing. And so then Tom got indicted. And he got in trouble because what he was doing was he would win $33 million for burn victims. And instead of give the money to the burn victims, he would give them like a couple $1,000s and keep the rest. And him and the rest of the people at the law firm were living off it. And Erika was benefiting from it in the earrings that are in this picture. Let me try to blow that up real fast. You guys can still hear me? Great. The earrings that are in this picture are actually ill-gotten gain from her benefiting from the money that Tom Girardi took and built from his clients in not giving them what he won for them. And what they were awarded is what the case has been proven. He already got found guilty. I think he still has to get sentenced, I believe. But anyway, part of the court proceedings was getting back as much to make the, his victims of financial abuse whole. In order to make them whole, they were like looking for his assets. So remember, they had to sell his house. They had to sell all the stuff in his house. And luckily, she got out with what she got out with and said she was filing for divorce, which they're still married from what I understand. I do not think they're divorced yet. Let me check. We're not going to be on here too much longer. Is Erika Jane divorced? Erika Jane divorce. So she filed in 2020 after 21 years of marriage, but she's still married to him. And the spouse law, you can't testify against your spouse. and he can't testify against her. So she's not divorced from him yet, and he just got finished being found guilty. And she's married to him. And from what Ronald Richards, I believe is the attorney's name, I believe, he posts a lot about it on his IG. Shout out. But he posted a lot of things about it. And somebody said at one point that she may be brought up on criminal charges because she had an American Express card for her that was directly a Girardi's Keys American Express card. So, and her bill on it over the course of like a decade or however long was $25 million. Now, one of the settlements alone was $33 million. So if she got $25 million just as Erika Jane and was spending it to fund her whole persona, her life. Remember when she first came on Beverly Hills, she's like, oh, it takes $10,000 a month to look this good. Remember, she was bragging about it. All of that money was from burn victims, you guys. And when that came out on Bravo's show, and the women were trying to talk to her about it and get answers from her, and said to her, from what we understand, there's like burn victims that need the earrings that are in your ears. Why are you wearing those around us? And she's hissing at them, talking about, because they're mine. These are mine. I'm never going to give them up. Like, my precious. She was so Gollum. It was really nasty work. And she said, I'm going to let the courts play it out. I'm in active litigation, and she wouldn't be accountable for it. She wouldn't take responsibility for it. She wouldn't even say she was sorry. The Hulu did 2 documentaries, I believe, on this bitch. Let me see. Let me ask the phone that shit. I know there's at least one, but I thought they came back and did a second one. Netflix. Erika Jane, Bet on Blonde. And then there's another one on Hulu called The Housewife and the Hustler. And both of those shows demonstrate her involvement in all of this, right? So now we're not going to be too much longer. I'm just pointing out some BS that I noticed in Bravo News. So now we have Karen Huger. And I didn't even put up Shannon Bedore, who hit a house while she was drunk. She ran into somebody's fucking living room and then got out the car, politely walked away. So she hit and ran, politely walked away, and started walking her dog like nothing happened, you guys. Okay? And when she got on the show, nobody was trying to hold her feet to the fire and make her implicate herself on camera. I don't know that the case was active at that time. So that could have been why. Maybe she had already pled guilty or whatever. So it didn't really play out on TV other than Tamrat trying to make her be like, you're an alcoholic, which I am not with alcoholics at all. But they all drink to the point where you could think that they all might have an issue with alcoholism. But anyway, so now we have Karen Huger, who's over on Real Housewives of Potomac. And we already see something that's different about Karen Huger compared to these other 2 people with admitted problems. So also Erika Jane has an admitted pill popping alcohol problem that was highlighted. I think it was 2 seasons ago. I think it was 2 seasons ago it was highlighted that she was self-medicating with alcohol and prescription drugs. And that's what was causing her to be very nasty during this whole scandal with her husband thing, right? But when the ladies would ask her about it, she would say, oh, it's an active case. I'm not going to implicate myself. That's what the lawyers are for. That's what court is for, and let it play out. In the meantime, her husband got found guilty, which by proxy to me means this bitch is guilty, right? And nobody's coming for Erika Jane's head. Nobody gives a fuck that the earrings in this woman's ears that she flaunted in our face are from burn victims. Nobody gives a fuck that her entire persona, Erika Jane, was created off of the backs of burn victims and people who are orphans. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's demanding that she goes to jail, that she be held accountable on camera. As a matter of fact, they're like, oh my God, Erika said everything she could. About it. Erika said everything she could about it. I don't know why people are asking so many times. So now we have Karen Huger on Real Housewives of Potomac this recent season. And she hit a tree. The same year that Shannon Bedore, Real Housewives of Orange County, hit a house, Karen Huger hit a tree in Potomac. Karen Huger at the scene refused breathalyzer. There was film taken. They never read her rights. She was out of it. There's body cam footage has since been released. And from the beginning of the time that she hit the tree, people have been coming for Karen Huger's head. And I'm not even a Karen Huger stan. Like, I've been calling her the Grand Dame of Lies since she came on the show. So, but I feel like there's an injustice happening with the over persecution and over policing of yet another Black person. And even though her proximity to whiteness is really close, she looked like she looks lighter than Black Dolores over in New Jersey. Okay. They be calling Dolo Black Dolores. Okay. She looks lighter skinned than Dolo's spray tans. Okay. Karen Huger, but she is a Black woman and people want her held responsible. They want her persecuted. They want her to be held to justice. They want her under a jail. They want her serving time as a 61-year-old woman. They want her serving time because she didn't take accountability during the season, because she deflected and didn't take responsibility during the season when her co-stars were using her real life scandal pain, life or death situation as their storylines, because they the ones that didn't have nothing going on. That's what Porsha should have said, was those bitches didn't have nothing going on, that all the Ashley's forehead, Giselle's neck and ankles, Mia freaking community mouth, and Jacqueline's community mouth self all only had Karen in their mouth, you guys. All of them wanted her persecuted, wanted her implicating herself so bad, would not take no for an answer. Oh, it's an active case. Oh, well, she's just not taking any accountability. Ask her about it again and slide her in another way. Bring 8 balloons to her house, to her Love Lagoon party in an effort to further bring up her current active case. Meanwhile, Erika Jane is thwarting off being called forward to the front of the room. And people know for a fact her husband, who she's still married to, who she benefited $25 million from, who her entire persona that we've come to enjoy as entertainment was built off of fraud and mismanagement of his fiduciary duties as an attorney, allegedly. And nobody's coming for her head. Yet Karen has already been sentenced. She was given 2 years, with 1 year something and another year they want her to go to jail. 61 years old. Supposedly she left right from the court to jail. The judge couldn't wait to get her started in jail. To which many people in the outside world, including some of her co-stars, are like, oh, well, she should have taken responsibility. She should have taken accountability. She should have this, she should have that. Yet the same people have nothing to say about Erika Jane, who's also a Bravo celebrity. So that's one of their co-workers too. They're not even mentioning that shit. And I just feel like it's a gross mismanagement of accountability holding, that all of it's for Karen Huger. All of it. Nobody's going to demand that Jax be off TV for obviously being high, driving his baby around. Oh, it's so great that Jax is getting in front of a story. But when Karen's getting in front of a story, everybody's like, oh, she's just doing this to save face. It's just a nah, nah, nah. But let Jax do something like that. Let Erika do something like that. And you see what's happening? You see what's happening? So I just wanted to mention that. That's not fair. That's not cool. And I don't think that Karen Huger's feet should be held to any hotter fire than a woman who benefited $25 million off of $33 million worth of freaking burn victims, orphans money. That's humans. That wasn't a fucking tree. Humans' lives have been adversely affected over the decade that she's benefited from all that money that wasn't theirs to have. And nobody's screaming for her head. Nobody is demanding anything. And Jax, he got a spinoff after being a fucking racist, misogynistic pig. He gets spin off in chance after chance. And people are like, oh, Karen doesn't need to come back to freaking Bravo after she serves time. Meanwhile, we have Teresa Giudice, who served a year and then got a spinoff. Okay? But Karen can't come back because she drove drunk and hit a tree. Meanwhile, we have Erika Jane on our TV screens currently, has never really gotten canceled or been held accountable, has always gotten the luxury of people respecting her when she says it's an active court case and allowing her to not implicate herself. It's just weird to me, and I had to say something about it, so that's what I did. Anyway, you guys. Let's see who came out to play. We have Flora Mercury, thanks for coming. And then we have Barb Meets World, thanks for coming. One Who Cares, it's been a minute, thanks for coming. Linnell came through, and Nitwit. Yes. So I just wanted to do some Bravo breaking news, which that was, we just went over Shamea being the reason that I will be watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we went over Porsha stumbling over her reasons, the reasons that she gives. Okay, calling Nene a liar. But I detected lies in what she said because it was contradiction within the same sentence run. Okay. And then shout out to Monica Garcia, who's Prego with the rainbow baby. And then I was just wondering what is with this difference of treatment for the addicts on Bravo. You know, some are praised and some are persecuted. People who hurt people are praised on Bravo, and people who hit trees. And then they're like, well, she could have killed somebody, but she didn't. Okay. There's actual killed people in the benefit of what Erika Jane got. Okay. Yeah, Candy and Todd are being sued for $150,000 for back rent. They said the rent was like a year's worth of rent that they hadn't paid. And the restaurant did close recently. So, yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot. But I really do Candy stuff, and she's not on Bravo anymore. So, well, neither is Monica Garcia, but she was just on House of Villains, and that's on Peacock, and that's Bravo driven. So look, I talked long enough to you guys for, I think Traitors just came on. So I'm going to go watch Traitors and prep for tomorrow. I'm doing the 3 days in a day schedule. That's really cool. It made my day seem like it didn't go so fast. So for some reason, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, you guys, thanks for coming through. Be sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way out, ring the bell so you can get notified next time I upload videos, and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing in the YouTube streets, you guys. See you in the next video.
Come get inspired, larger, just like a star, larger. Here we're all equal, larger. Just make you fall, larger. Get the legs started, larger. Come have some fun, larger. He's the one, larger. You know where to come.
See you in the next video. Ring the bell. Peace.